Hey there, my name is Carrie, and I am a self employed business owner who focuses on all cash budgeting using the zero based budgeting method. And today I am going to be diving into a bit of a debt confessions, sharing all of the debts that I currently have, my husband and I have together, and my plan for paying it all off. So, to get started, I have this debt list here that I'm going to be filling out with our debts. This is going to focus just on our consumer debt, so it's not going to be any debt like our mortgage or anything like that because we're going to be selling our house in about the next year or so, and we're hopefully going to get a new home. And so our debt is going to change in that aspect there. And this is just going to be our consumer debt. We do own a truck still, but we did pay off our car. We have actually been on this debt journey for a while, and we have really been able to pay off a large amount of debt. I don't even remember, I think it started around somewhere in the 80 to $100,000 mark. And since then, we have definitely paid down a lot. We had way too many credit cards. I think at one point I personally had 6 or 7 of them. So right now we have, I think, 5 main consumer debt accounts, and not including our mortgage. So I'm just going to start with writing each one. Down here, it's going to have basically the name of them, the due date, the starting balance, interest rate, and minimum payment amount, and then the goal payoff date. And I'm just going to do the ones that we currently have, not the ones that we have paid off in the past. And then I'm going to fill out this debt tracker, which I will update on a monthly basis, which will have its name, all of this information here. There's like this little repayment progress bar, so I'm going to calculate that and then color it in. And then every time we make a payment, we'll have a remaining balance and then hopefully pay this off within the next year or two would be the goal. Sooner, obviously, the better. So I got this debt worksheet and stuff like that from the Simple Budget on Etsy in case you're interested. So the first debt is a credit card with Chase, and I'm going to say this is Chase number 1 because this is my personal credit card, and then my husband and I have a Chase IHG card, which is like a platinum account that we use for a lot of our travel expenses and stuff like that, or we have in the past. We actually don't use debt really anymore. We don't really use credit cards. We don't take out more debt. We've really, in the past like 2 years, really been disciplined and strong to pay these all off. But right now, so this is our first Chase account. And these are all balances as of the end of April. And then I will update it. This is like the account balance that was at the end of April at the last statement. Interest rate is 14.99%, which is pretty high. Thankfully, it is less than $1,000 now. It has a $40 minimum payment. And at the rate we're paying it off right now, we typically pay, I'm just going to write this down here. We typically pay $125 a month on this account because we're trying to pay it down faster. So right now the goal payoff date is December of this year, actually. We actually do have a small personal loan with a family member. That's going to be paid off in like 3 months. That was for something back in 2020 when, everything was crazy with the economy and everything was on pause and we weren't working and stuff like that. So we used a small loan and we are basically nearly paid that off. That has a $250 a month payment. So hopefully when that is paid down, we'll be able to roll it into this one and keep rolling it forward. Next up is our truck loan from CarMax. The interest rate is not terrible, but it could be better. 5.45%. Our minimum payment, which is what we pay every month, is around $382. That right now, that started off actually, our truck cost $4,000 or something like that. We put a little bit down, and I think we ended up with like a $20,000 loan. So we've been paying this off for several years, and that has a goal payoff of next summer, basically. All right, next we have Chase number 2, which is our IHG account. This basically came about, like I said, we did a lot of travel early when we were, first married and stuff like that. We've been married almost 10 years in December. And so we did a lot of traveling. We actually did put it on this IHG card, and we got a lot of points for free nights and free hotel stays and stuff like that. And just over time, it got to the point where we weren't able, like we just charged too much and we went on too many vacations, basically. So we've spent the last couple of years paying it off. I will say that my relationship with debt has gotten a lot better over the years, and I don't regret any of the debt that I have. I actually don't even know the full balance. We're going to total the balance today. um, but it is something that I don't want to continue doing, and I want to be able to pay cash for everything that we have going forward, which is one of the reasons why I'm on an all cash budget. And it's something that I want to be able to improve upon going forward and pay cash for everything, save up for what we want, and that's why I am on this journey. But I don't want it to come across that I'm complaining about my debt or any of that, because these were my choices. I chose to do this. We chose to take out this truck loan. We chose to put all of this money on credit cards. And so these were the consequences, so to speak, that we're dealing with. The goal payoff for this credit card at the rate it's going is like 2026, but I am hoping to have, as we roll over payments, as we continue to pay them off, that we will have this paid down faster. We typically only pay the minimum payment on this one, well, on everything except for this card and then the personal loan to a family member, and then those payments will get rolled into each other and pay them off even faster. And then I have a PayPal line of credit that I used in the very beginning of, I've had multiple businesses. I'm full-time self-employed for the last decade. I've had multiple businesses that I've started, online businesses. I sold one of my businesses and I started a new one in 2019. And that one I am planning on selling in the next year or two. So there's a little bit of debt from this one. Getting the business started, investing in different software and things like that. This has a really high interest rate, which I would like to get down, well, as soon as possible. 28%, over 28%. The minimum payment for this one is $293 a month. We pretty much, usually we pay $311, just because I try and pay a little bit extra on this one when I have some extra from the business or something like that. The goal payoff is $2025 for that one. And then finally, we actually do have a little bit of IRS debt from 2021. So our travel business, the travel business that we own together, my husband and I, it was struggling obviously in 2021 and 2020 and 2021 because of, everything that went on with the economy and, the stuff that happened. So this was also the year that our mother-in-law died. So we had a lot of stuff that happened that year, and honestly, it just got away from us. We didn't pay in as much in taxes as we should have, and so we ended with a balance at the end of the year, which I think was around $9,000 or so. So right now the remaining balance is around $7,500. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know exactly what the interest rate is because the IRS charges outrageous interest rates. Failure to pay on time, failure to do a bunch of stuff, penalties, interest, all that stuff. So this one is actually a really high priority for us. We pay $250 a month on this, and right now the payoff would be $1125. So let's add all these up and let's see total debt list. I'm kind of scared. All right. boy, over 20K already. All right, so the total is $28,217.52 of consumer debt that we currently have. I'm going to write this at the top. And then this is May of 2023. That's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought it was. When you look at these numbers individually, you kind of think that, no, this is fine, 8,000, 5,000, whatever, I can pay this off in a year or whatever, but when you have them all together, it's a lot. And our mortgage is around 240,000 that we still owe. That, which is, like I said, is fine. I'm good paying that, but you still have to pay that, right? You still have to, and we actually do have a small business loan too. I didn't want to put it on here because it is part of the business debt, and when we sell the business, it will be used to pay off the SBA loan. But that is a lot of debt to look at sort of in black and white. But like I said, we started off with way more. Back in, I forget what year it was, 2017, I think. We actually had our car crash and it was totaled, and it was a whole big thing, and we had to pay for that and get a new car. So we actually have a car and a truck, and we've already paid the new car off last year. So we've gone through a lot of stuff and didn't maybe necessarily handle it right, but it doesn't mean that I regret my decisions or how it came about, because I do want to back myself, and it was things that I learned from, and I can learn from them going forward and make them better in the future. Okay, let's get another pen here. Let's start working on the debt tracker, and let's get some progress going. So I will start this, and I'll have a debt tracker for each debt that we have. So we have 5 of them. Yeah. And then I will write down the data amounts and the repayment amounts, the remaining balance, at the end of every month. And I will do a video update and kind of keep this rolling so we can pay down this 28,000. Hopefully, well, I would love to pay it within a year. It'll probably take us 2 years. But maybe we can, sell some stuff, get some side hustles, whatever. So this is Chase card number 1. Balance as of April. What is the due date for this? I'm trying to think. I don't know if that's necessarily important. I think it's around like we'll just say the 25th of the month. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Goal payoff date would be December of 2023. And the minimum payment currently is $40, but we are paying a lot more. So I'm not going to write down the date of this one because it hasn't happened yet for May. Some of these have had payments already happen, but I will keep track of this going forward and then write in the date and the amount and stuff like that. So we'll move on to the next one here. So CarMax for our truck. I probably should actually put down like the actual starting balance, because I feel like that would be more exciting, and it would be something that you'd be able to see over time. This is due on the 6th of every month. You'd be able to see over time like how much progress you really have made, because this was a big balance when we first started. 2024 currently. That's not necessarily our goal payoff date. I just wanted to write down if we keep going the way we're going, then this is what it would be. All right, this one we actually did make a payment on, and this was on May 6th. and then I'll write the remaining balance at the end of the month when I see what the total amount is in the statement. So, when we get the new statement, this payment has already come through our account. When we get the new statement, then I will update this one. Our IHG card. I actually think this one was a lot higher as well. It used to be 6 or 7 thousand. Actually, I was thinking it was closer to like 7,000. So I feel good and encouraged, that a lot of these are being paid off. And like I said, I used to have a Discover card, a Citibank card, a bunch of, let's see, two other ones, I think. I don't even remember what they were, but it was like four additional credit cards to this. So, some progress is better than no progress. It's $166 minimum payment. And right now it's going to be paid off in 2026. Oh, the due date for this, I believe, is also around like the 30th or so. So this one hasn't been paid yet for this payment either. So sometimes these debt confession videos are really hard to, to watch other people and to also do myself, because this is really, sometimes I can feel embarrassed by this. I'm somebody who has worked as an accountant before I owned my own business, and then I'm, a freelancer and an entrepreneur. And it's really hard to start a business and have debt and do all these things that you think are wrong later on when you start learning more about money and business. And it's really difficult to feel like you failed. And sometimes I do feel like I failed, but I don't want to carry that feeling going forward, because I know we've made a lot of progress and I work really hard every day, especially with this new cash stuffing method and all of the budgeting that I've been doing this year and previous years. The last 2 years, we have not added to our debt at all. We have not taken on more debt, and we have stopped using credit cards. So I'm really proud of myself for doing that and for making, taking the first step. The due date for this one, I think it's on the 20th of every month. And right now the pay up date is in 2025. Minimum payment $293. Haven't made this payment quite yet. It'll be coming out shortly here in a few days, and so I'll update this at the end of this month with my next debt update video. Alright, finally, so it's the IRS from 2021. I think it's around the 20th of the month. Don't know what the interest is. Outrageous, I'm sure. 2025 and $250 per month payment. Now this one, or all of these rather, I am going to update them, like I said, at the end of the month, and then I will fill in and kind of color it, and we can, see the progress together, the repayment progress. I thought that was fun. That's one of the reasons I really liked this sheet. So that is pretty much it. Got all of these filled out and the total here at the top, so we know exactly what to work towards, exactly what we're going to be doing this year and next year. However long it takes, we're going to be paying it off. Throughout this whole process, it has been a lot to do. When you're staring at a large mountain of debt, it can be really overwhelming, and you also don't really know what the right decision is and what the right thing to do is. Do you sell your house? Do you downgrade? Whatever. And we actually did own. So the reason we bought our truck was because we owned a small trailer, like a little RV trailer, and we would go on camping trips, and we would have a lot of family time and hang out with family during the summer and stuff and camped by the river. It was super nice and awesome, but we just couldn't afford it. So we actually ended up selling that. So now we have the truck with no trailer. But it's a sacrifice that we wanted to take or make because we took out all of this debt. So anyway, I would love to hear if you have any questions or anything. I'm happy to answer them. This is not all of our debt. It's all of our consumer debt though, and it is not include our small business loan from the SBA and also our mortgage, but it does include everything else. And so that is something that I feel like I wanted to be upfront and honest with, that, we do owe a lot more. There are other payments in addition to these payments, but actually, something might be kind of interesting to add up what the total payment is every month too, because that's a lot of money that you're not getting anymore, not being able to put towards other goals, other savings goals, other fun goals. So right now, it's around $1,215 a month in payments. That is crazy. When I look at stuff like this, I think that, wow, it's you don't think that you have any money for, let's say, total monthly payments. You don't think that, or I don't think that we have, any money for goals or any money for travel or for planning anything fun. And this might be part of the reason, which is, again, I'm not complaining about it. This is something that I have done myself, I have got myself into, and something that I'm getting myself out of. So thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate, all of your support. If you have any questions or anything, I'd be happy to clarify anything. And also, do you like watching videos like this? Do you appreciate the honesty of these debt confessions? I know I do. And so I kind of wanted to start this journey in the beginning as I'm getting started with cash stuffing and the zero-based budgeting method. So thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.